Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good day. So this is the respiratory system part 1. Okay. Alright, the learning outcome. So for this subtopic, you are able to describe functional anatomy of respiratory system. So functional anatomy means all the organs that involve in the respiratory system. You can describe the functions of the organs that involve in the respiratory system. Okay, so these are the organs, okay, starting with the nose. Okay, so inside the nose we have nasal cavity, ruang dalam hidung, paranasal sinuses, okay, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, okay, bronchi ni dah enter the lungs, bronchioles, alveoli, lungs, pleurae, diaphragm. Okay, diaphragm tu in bahasa mean diaphragma. Okay, so this diaphragm helps during the breathing. Okay, so this is the respiratory system. Okay, alright, starting with the nose here. Okay, the nasal cavity. So when we breathing, it enter the nose. Okay, go to the go to the pharynx. Okay, and then move through the larynx, enter the trachea, okay, and then enter the bronchus. So bronchus dia bercabang dua. Okay, dia bercabang dua because it will enter the right and left lungs. Okay, right. So function of respiratory system. So the main function is to deliver oxygen to the body tissues and removes gaseous waste, mainly carbon dioxide. So untuk deliver oxygen masuk dalam badan kita, okay, for use to be used up the tissue as for allergy, okay, for example, and then remove. So lepas dah guna, kita akan buang that gases, the carbon dioxide from our body. Okay. Zone of respiratory system. So it has two zones. Okay, the first one is conducting zone. So what is conducting zone? Includes all respiratory passageways that conduct air to and from the lungs. Okay, that means dia conduct, okay, udara yang masuk to, okay, masuk ke dan dari paru-paru, ke dalam paru-paru dan from the lungs. Okay, maksudnya dia sampai trachea sahaja, dia tak masuk lagi ke dalam. So this conducting zone does not enter the lungs. Okay, so this zone usually cleans or filter or purify, humidify ataupun moisten and warm incoming air. So the organ that involved are nose, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchial tree. Okay, so bronchial tree ni ada banyak cabangnya, bronchi, bronchioles, terminal bronchioles. Okay, alright, this is the zone of conducting. Okay, and then the next zone is respiratory zone. So respiratory zone is the actual site of gas exchange. So the gas exchange happens inside the respiratory zone. Okay, composed of starting respiratory bronchioles, alveolar ducts and sacs, alveoli. Okay, ni maksudnya dia dah betul-betul enter the lungs. Okay, this is structure of the respiratory zone. Starting from the terminal bronchiole here. Okay, terminal bronchiole ni masih conducting zone. So, lepas dia terminal bronchiole, it will enter the respiratory bronchioles and then alveolar duct. Okay, and then you nampak a bunch of fruit macam buah anggur, bunch of grapes. This is alveoli. Okay, so satu kantung ni namanya alveolar sac. Okay, sac tu kantung. Okay, we start with the nose first. Okay, nose covered by skin. Okay, so dekat luar ni covered by skin, supported by bone. Bone yang atas ni, okay, cartilage yang lembut kat depan ni. Alright. So structures of nose are divided into external nose. So ini yang kat luar ni external. And nasal cavity inside the nose. Okay, nasal cavity fills the space between the base of the skull and the roof of the mouth. So dia punya kawasan cavity tu start at the base of our skull and roof. Okay, lelangit kita, lelangit mulut. So nasal cavity is divided by nasal septum. Ni kat tengah-tengah ni, sebab tu kita ada hidung kiri dan kanan. Okay, and separate from oral cavity by the palate. Palate ni adalah lelangit lah. Okay. Passageway to pharynx. Dia ada laluan to pharynx. Okay, this is the external skeletal framework of the nose. Okay, so this is nasal cavity. Nampak? This is base of our skull. Okay, this is roof of our mouth. So, ini adalah kawasan nasal cavity. Okay, nose functions provides an airway, moistens and warms entering air, filters inspired air and cleanses it of foreign matter. Dia akan cuci sebab tu kita ada bulu hidung. Okay, to cuci all the foreign matters. Okay, serve as resonating chamber for speech. Okay. Tak ada hidung, kita susah juga nak bercakap. Kalau hidung tak function ataupun you dapat selesema, kan you akan bercakap suara sengau. Okay, and then also houses the olfactory receptor for the smell receptor. Okay. Alright, now we move to paranasal sinuses. Consists of frontal, sinus, maxillary, sphenoid, ethmoid. So ada 4 sinus. Okay, sinus ni apa? Dia adalah ruang, okay, that produce mucus for resonators for sound, okay, yang menyebabkan suara sengau. Kalau tersumbat di kawasan boleh menyebabkan you suara sengau, dan juga kawasan yang merawat resdung tu. So this yang resdung tu actually the paranasal sinuses. So it lighten the skull and also warm and moisten the air. Okay. Ni sinus ni. Sekejap saya tunjuk lebih jelas. Okay, frontal sinus. Dia macam rongga. Sphenoid. Ini yang kita nampak from the side view. Okay, now we move to pharynx. Okay, pharynx is actually our throat. Tekak. Mucosa lined. Ada line mucosa. Muscular tube extends from the base of the skull to the level of C6. Okay. So C6 kiralah from the belakang vertebra ni sampai C6. So itu adalah kawasan pharynx. Divided into 3 area. Nasopharynx, oropharynx, laryngopharynx. So the functions are pharynx, passageway for air between nose and larynx, and for food from mouth and esophagus. So dia laluan udara dan juga laluan makanan. Okay. It also contains tonsil. Tonsil ni kita punya body's defense system. Okay, last but not least, this is the area of the nasopharynx. Okay, nama naso means dekat dengan nasal cavity. Okay, oropharynx because oro means mouth. Laryngopharynx because it kawasan dia dah enter larynx. Okay, so this is all for part 1. Okay, I will continue the next respiratory system in the next video. Thank you.